Success Mantra is a program which features people, successful individuals from various walks of life. They are less known heroes who believe in their dreams and have conviction to live their full potential. Idols, icons, innovators who care to live every moment on their own terms.
Hi, good evening, everyone. And I'm really delighted to have a special guest here with us today, Colonel VD Singh. And he has been a great source of inspiration by virtue of his enthusiasm and the way he does everything else. Colonel VD Singh is also the vice chairperson of World Music Xena family, and he's a music maker with Partha Studio and a visiting faculty to various institutions. He is also a coach mentor with Success Studios, and we are delighted to have him over here. Of course, I would like to tell you a little bit about Colonel VD Singh before we progress. Colonel VD Singh hails from Lucknow, a postgraduate in statistics with operations research, qualified systems analyst with industrial experience. He has three engineering credentials in industrial engineering, software engineering, aeronautical engineering, project management. Recently conferred with Distinguished Fellowship of a think tank. He is also an aviator, now settled in Ambala, post superannuation in 2017. He continues with his passion for music. Musical journey has begun since school time from a famous beat group Sparks from Lucknow. As bass guitar player and singer, then freelance composer and sound engineer. Having won Best Music Composer Award during Jodhpur International Film Festival 2020, he participates every year at Ladakh Music Festival with his music. He plays many instruments. Presently, his jazz music is streaming worldwide over Spotify, Amazon Music, and Apple Music, and many other streaming services. His experiments with music in his home studio called Partha Studio, where he creates own tracks. Presence is worldwide through his YouTube channel Partha Studio. He is primarily into jazz and retro music. All right, great. So now I would like to ask Colonel VD Singh that how did he get into the defense forces, and what really inspired him to be there for the country?
Thank you, Sonali. First of all, I must thank you for inviting me in this prestigious session of Success Studios.
Awesome.
Uh, Now, your question is as to what inspired me or
Correct.
what prompted me to join. Before joining the forces, I joined Army in 1986.
Mhm.
Uh, I'm basically a techie. My background has been in IT. Before I joined the armed forces, and I was working just before joining the army. I was working with a giant aluminium factory, which is called Hindalco, Hindustan Aluminum Corporation, which is on the border of UP. I was working there as a systems analyst, and most of the time I was writing codes and codes because that was early 80s was a time and there was no window. It was all
Right.
absolutely
Right.
hardcore programming.
True.
And I was already an industrial engineer.
Mhm.
So, and with my background of industry engineering and my post graduation in statistics and operational research, I
Wow.
was basically doing mathematical modeling of real processes.
Wonderful.
So it was a very different line altogether.
Mhm.
However, at the back of my mind, I was always impressed with the defense forces because I had done 3 year complete course with NCC, National Cadet Corps, as an air wing cadet, air wing NCC,
Right.
where I was lucky enough to complete my basic flying course, and I had obtained my private pilot license also.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, and I must tell you, Shonali, that NCC prepares youth of today, and even at that time, 40 years back also, to first of all understand the importance of defense forces, and it basically motivates youngsters to join. So it so happened that while I was working with Hindalco as a software engineer, as a system analyst, I happened to come across an advertisement in newspaper, because that
Oh,
was the only way of knowing.
true.
So, at that time, Indian Army had invited candidates from technical background to join technical graduate course.
Awesome.
So technical graduate course is not through NDA; it is directly from Indian Military Academy, Dehradun.
Okay.
And I happened to apply. I got selected. God was very kind, and one fine day, I found myself in Dehradun,
Mm.
and that's how my journey began actually.
Oh,
And after that, yeah, 30 years in the army, I really miss my uniform, because I have served with full satisfaction. And of course, the many ups and downs which are there, because it's not a linear path. It's always a sinusoidal curve kind of a thing. That's how
wonderful.
I came in the army.
Beautiful. And Colonel VD Singh, we would also like to know one, like episode from those days where you were there in the front, and what did it feel like? Because, we as citizens, we have the pleasure of enjoying the life that we do because of all of you being there. So, what is it that, really when you actually go to the front after training and all, how did you feel about it? And what was one of those important episodes in the forces that you still remember?
In fact, there are many, Shonali, because right after passing out or graduating from the Indian Military Academy, I became a lieutenant, and then I was sent to uh, Northeast,
Wow. Okay.
and yeah, yeah, and that is Arunachal Pradesh, in a place called Tawang. So Tawang border, is joined with China, as well as on the other side with Bhutan, high altitude area.
Mhm.
And as a youngster, one doesn't have an idea, because whatever exposure is given to us in Indian Military Academy
Mhm.
uh, is basically to prepare ourselves mentally and physically to
True.
work in extreme conditions of deserts and mountains.
Right.
But what happens when you actually reach that location? You come to know you are face to face with the adversaries, and
True.
the adversary is not only enemy;
Mhm.
they are vagaries of weather.
Right.
Those mountains are also there. Yeah, so the terrain and the weather and things like that, they're all challenge.
Mhm.
Uh, so I remember very vividly that I was involved in, as a youngster, our commanding officer used to send youngsters on patrolling. Now, patrolling is a duty which is led by an officer, by a young officer, because one has the courage, and one has the muscular strength to
Right.
go up and down those ridges
Right.
which are snow clad.
Mhm.
And so one of those patrolling things, like I came across the Chinese,
Oh my God.
face to face. Yeah, yeah. And so whatever we see in the movies is quite a dramatic thing. But what happens on the ground is totally different. They're friendly. I mean, we are on our side, they are on their side. And yeah, I was able to say hello to the counterpart
Right.
at that altitude, some 14,000 feet or something. So that was the first kind of encounter, a peaceful encounter with the adversaries. My next episode happened when I was posted in a place called Baramulla. Baramulla is a place, Shonali, which once upon a time used to be hub of all these nefarious activities,
Mhm.
various modules of,
Right. Right.
Atankavadi modules. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I was posted there. That was in 2006.
Mm.
And So army had posted me there to act as a media officer. It is something like PRO in civil, public relation officer. So
Right,
I
right.
was there
Mhm.
to basically maintain the correct image of army, because people have a lot of wrong notions about army.
Right.
And there I became part of live operations also.
Hmm.
Uh, that is, when the thing is going on, uh, and these misguided youth, so called, from
Uh-huh.
the other side.
True.
Yeah, yeah. And those encounters used to be very, very intense, because a split second delay means you're gone.
Yeah,
So there I picked up this particular thing, that your decision makes a difference between life and death.
sure.
And that was the time yeah. So without going much into the details, I must tell you that counter-terrorism in this kind of a zone of conflict is something which is very, very decisive
Right.
for the entire nation. And
Sure.
of course, my last posting before I got superannuated. Always remember, Shonali, in the army, we never retire. Retirement word is not for us. We superannuate, or we take premature retirement.
Right.
So I served my full term,
Uh-huh.
and so my last posting was from 2015 to 2017 in Ladakh.
Okay.
We all know about Ladakh,
Right.
Galwan Valley incident, and all that,
Mhm.
all those things. So I got a chance to visit all those places. I also flew to Siachen.
Okay.
Those are the places that this, incidentally, Ladakh is the highest battlefield in the
Mm.
world, and
Wow.
Indian Army is doing very well. So basically, it's us, Indian Army and the Air Force,
Right.
working absolutely in sync.
Right. So,
So
like, I'm very curious about what's your opinion about the current geopolitical scene and, like the wars that are happening today and, like what's happening in Iran. So, what is your take on all this? Why, like we are a civilized race. And even
yeah,
today, we still have these kind of neighboring unrest which is going on, whether it's Pakistan, whether you see Iran and all. What is your opinion about all these things which are going on?
yeah, Shonali, whatever little analysis I can do, the geopolitical and geomilitary issues are there. The war of today, whether it is between Russia, Ukraine, Iran, uh, and Israel and things like that, uh, it is basically a war to bring down the economy of the other country. War of today is not the war which used to be there earlier.
True.
Basically, when you weaken a country economically,
Right.
your aim is achieved, because that country will be thrown back in terms of productivity by 10 or 20 years back.
True.
Today, what is happening? Why these wars are happening? This
Mhm.
is all game of oil.
Mm.
USA wants that oil, that US dollar should have the supremacy over the uh, petrochemicals and things like that.
Right. Right.
And there are other countries from where, for example, India is getting from different places. We're getting from
Oh.
crude oil from Iran and all that.
Mhm.
Now, America, like a big daddy,
Yeah.
wants to have a control over everything. So
True.
these wars are happening because of that, and I'm telling you, it will lead to a serious situation if it doesn't stop at this end, and that will be the beginning of Third World War. God forbid it should not happen, but if it does happen, many countries will be thrown back in terms of productivity and development by many years. Yeah.
Absolutely. Very true. So, also, like, would you advise the youth of today? Because, we know with the advent of AI and ChatGPT and all of this, things are getting simplified. A lot of people are losing their jobs. So, do you think the military is also one of the options where people should actually go for, as in, especially aspirants today?
Shonali, very good question. What happens in this materialistic world when the correct upbringing is not done? I'm using the word upbringing. Uh, First of all, one should never compare the perks of corporate sector versus military. There are
Right.
two different things altogether.
True.
You make comparison where there are a lot of common factors.
Right, right,
Now,
right.
in the armed forces, Army, Navy, Air Force,
Mm-hmm.
when we joined, we joined with I'm not saying mindset, but with a kind of feeling that you are going to contribute significantly towards the country.
Right,
And also, the defense forces have come a long way. It is no longer, a fist-to-fist fight or firing at each other. We are very, very developed nation. You have recently seen the aftermath of Op Sindoor,
yeah, yeah.
how effectively we brought down their the terrorist spots, nine of them, although 21 have been identified, but out of that, 9 have been annihilated completely
True,
by
true.
our armed forces. So that
Right.
means the technological advancement is there, and we do take pride in that. uh, I will I exhort the youth of today to join armed forces, even if it is short service commission for 5 years or so, because it gives you a different it makes a man out of you. A
Absolutely.
boy is turned into a man, and a young lady is turned into an effective leader. This is all about effective leadership.
True. So, women are allowed to join the army now because there was
Since
a time in our
1993.
time when I wanted to
Yeah.
join the defense, it was not allowed. So today it's
It
allowed.
was not
Right.
today, very much, not today. It's been there since 1993. And I clearly remember, Shonali, I was posted in a place called Mahu,
Uh-huh.
which is our, no Fauji can forget Mahu, because kabhi na kabhi koi jata hai wahan par. So I
True.
was posted as instructor in Military College of Telecom Engineering.
Right.
And when the first batch got commissioned from Officers Training Academy, Madras,
Mm-hmm.
uh, there were 5 or 6 women officers who came over there, and I was very lucky that my commandant assigned me the duty. I used to be very active socially also because I'm into
Right.
music,
Right.
and of course, I was also into flying. So
Right.
he said that you are an ideal person to motivate them.
Wonderful.
And initial grooming was done by me of those 5, 6 military
Oh,
officers. They've
amazing.
done very well. Yeah.
Amazing. So tell us about this entire music part. When did this start? Was it after your superannuation or was it always there with you?
Shonali, I grew up with music.
Ah,
Literally,
nice.
during school time, I used to play harmonica. I still play harmonica, mouth organ.
Right, right.
And after I finished my school, after class 12th, I had formed my own band. And in fact, we were a very well-known band in North India. We were known as Sparks Orchestra. We were a band of 7 boys.
Wow.
We were professionals. We
Uh-huh.
were into pop, rock, retro, and everything. I was a crooner and the bass guitarist of my group.
Uh-huh.
And yeah,
You
that
were
was,
also the
4 decades
vocalist?
back.
Were you the
Yes.
vocalist? Oh,
Yeah, vocalist. So, all these things basically helped me to become a music composer. And I have composed a lot of music for short films, documentaries, and things like that. I sing, I play many instruments. I grew up as a guitarist. I became a bass guitarist. I play piano, drums, a couple of the African instruments.
oh, wow.
And
And all this you did on your own, as in you learnt on your own?
on my own, Sonali. Honestly speaking, I because it was there in me.
Right.
I firmly believe that music is something which is there in your DNA, which I think I inherited from my late mother. My mother was a very good singer,
Wonderful.
and so I inherited, and yeah, so music is something which is there in me.
So दो लाइन हो जाए हमारे लिए just two lines. Two lines.
Okay, okay, yeah,
हाँ जी.
Sonali.
हाँ.
I'm very fond of Hemant Kumar.
Wow.
So I'll sing two lines from his essay. तुम पुकार लो, तुम्हारा इंतजार है, तुम पुकार लो, ख्वाब चुन रही है रात, बेकरार है तुम्हारा इंतजार है, तुम पुकार लो.
Wow, awesome, awesome. Colonel VD Singh, you made time for us. We're really very grateful for that. My last question to you is, we define success in many ways. What does success mean to you? Because to me, you are an epitome of success, the way you have led your life. And I don't know how you have balanced so many fronts and been in creativity of music as well. But tell our viewers and youngsters that what is this message which can help them stay successful, happy, and accomplished in life, like you.
Absolutely. Shonali, with my own experience, with the military experience and also personal experience, I have always measured success in terms of personal satisfaction. Something you are doing something, your instincts are basically prompting you to do, and you are doing it. Success is not measured in numbers. It's absolutely not a numerical thing. Unfortunately, people relate success with percentage,
Very well articulated.
and I have I have been a mediocre student, Shonali, but I have done so many courses, engineering plus management and things like that, always as a mediocre. And in the school, I used to be a backbencher, but I have been successful. Success is something which resides in your mind.
Absolutely.
You
Totally
should be happy
resonate
with
with
whatever.
that. Absolutely. Very well said. Because, like so many people, youngsters always think that, okay, their success is being measured by others in, all that scorecard. But it is
Yeah,
basically what you said in two simple words: self-satisfaction. Amazing.
yeah, yeah.
So thank you
Even
very,
failure,
yeah,
I
please.
just want to say, even failure is a success
Yes, yes, yes.
because you have learned your lesson and you will not repeat it.
Very true. Very true. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for making
Thank you,
time
Shalal.
and sharing the wisdom of not only your life journey, the musical part of it, because sometimes we leave what we are passionate about. So that is something which we should avoid doing and stay with our passion as well. So thank you, and we'll stay in
Thank
touch.
you, Shalal.
Thanks.
Pleasure is mine. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Absolutely. Jai Hind. Jai Hind.